WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Lacey Roberts, and we begin tonight in Huntington, West Virginia. That's where less than 2 hours into the new year, 7 people were shot at a hookah bar. It happened around 1:30 this morning. No fatalities have been reported and no arrests. Kelsey Soto has the latest on the police investigation into the incident.
I can't believe this is happening, but then again, with all the craziness that happens at New Year's Day, I'm, not too surprised.
Shots rang out just before 1:30 a.m. New Year's Day at the Culture Hookah Bar in downtown Huntington.
Well, it gets you thinking that maybe things are starting to get worse.
John Horst owns a business nearby and was shocked when he showed up for work on Wednesday.
Yeah, I see the glass on the ground now.
In a press release, the Huntington Police Department says the incident was likely a dispute between individuals and not a random act.
We don't just have, to my knowledge, people going into stores and shooting them up.
Several people were found shot inside and outside of the bar.
I've been broken into a couple of times, had windows shattered. Sure, I've had people try and break in the back door.
7 people were taken to area hospitals for gunshot wounds. A student at WVU came to the scene to see for herself.
I'm not really surprised. I think it's very jarring when you hear about shootings in general. I mean, hearing people committing violence against each other is not great, but in Huntington, shootings are kind of not uncommon.
No fatalities have been reported.
Again, at this time, no arrests have been made, and there are still several blood stains on the sidewalk in front of the business and parking lot behind the bar. This incident continues to be on an ongoing investigation. A jail employee here in Perry County found himself behind bars after a drug investigation. Investigators with the Drug Task Force say this man, Shannon Adams, was found with a cigarette pack full of Suboxone during a traffic stop around 7 tonight. Adams worked as a deputy jailer at Kentucky River Regional Jail, where police believe he was smuggling drugs. Adams worked at the jail for around 2 months before the arrest. He now faces a charge of trafficking in the 2nd degree. New at 11, Kentucky State Police are investigating a fatal crash that happened on New Year's Eve. Troopers say it all happened in the Parkers Lake community of McCreary County. 42-year-old Eric Wilson was hit by a truck while walking in the road. Investigators say the driver couldn't see Wilson. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Officers with the London Police Department spent their New Year's looking for impaired drivers. Police say it is not uncommon to have people pulled over on New Year's after drinking New Year's Eve. They say many get behind the wheel the next morning to go home while their judgment is still poor, and that is why they spend the day in full force, looking for signs of impaired driving on the roads.
Any stop really can be a stop for impaired driving, but typically what we'll see is maybe weaving, failure to dim headlights, just many of your more careless driving offenses.
Police say if you suspect someone of drinking and driving, to call 911. A new law targeting drunk drivers will go into effect later this year. Lawmakers passed the legislation in 2019. It requires first-time DUI offenders to give up their license for 9 months or use an ignition interlock device to test their sobriety before being able to drive. The device checks a person's breath for alcohol before they can start the car. That law takes effect on July 1st.
And we're starting to see those clouds increase, which means those temperatures are going to start to be a little bit warmer as we head into tonight. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of those temperatures, kind of a wide range, anywhere from the upper 30s to lower 40s. Some spots already into the lower 30s if you're looking down into parts of Bell County, Monticello, 34 in Hazard, 40 in Jackson, and 42 into Prestonsburg. It's really where that cloud cover is. You can see that's been increasing over the past couple of hours, and that's because of this next system moving into the mountains by the time we head into tomorrow. Temperatures tonight dropping into about the mid 30s. Clouds will continue to increase, and that's because soggy weather returns by your Thursday. Those rain chances become slightly more scattered for your Friday, but still a gloomy day. Rain possibly transitioning into snow by Saturday and even continuing as we head into your Sunday. We'll break down the timing and impacts of this system coming up in just a little bit. Lacey.
Thanks, Paige. Papa John's founder might have been critical of the company's product in recent interviews, but that isn't stopping him from eating a lot of it to kick off 2020. John Schnatter posted his New Year's resolution on Instagram to eat 50 pizzas in 30 days. He says that will beat his old record of 40 pizzas in 30 days. This morning, some runners started off their new year with a 5K. This was the 2020 Hangover Classic in Shelbyville. The annual race recently moved from Louisville to Clear Creek Park. One runner went to bed before the ball dropped last night just to get ready for the day.
Because it's the first day of the year and want to get it off to a great start, and it's a beautiful day to start a race.
Mary also says her New Year's resolution involves running. She wants to do more 5Ks and 10Ks this year. Now we continue our countdown of top local stories on WYMT.com. The top of the list contains both tragedy and miracles. WYMT's Will Puckett brings us the top 5.
Number 5. The Pike County community was shaken when 11-year-old Ayla Eastwood died in a November house fire. Her mother was also injured in the fire, but survived. Number 4. A Somerset woman is facing unlawful access to a computer charges after a failed attempt to steal from a Walmart. Police say Kathy White put items in a tote bag, went to self-checkout, and only scanned the tote. She was stopped by employees and found to have more than $300 of goods in the bag. Number 3. For the first time since the 1980s, vinyl records are outselling CDs.
It's like older people, they're like, man, I used to listen to these when I was a teenager, I can't believe they're coming back.
Maybe nostalgia is holding on. Number 2. Is time up on time changes?
The day seems shorter. It's like we have less energy. It's dark so early. I'm ready for bed at 9 o'clock.
A pre-filed bill in the Kentucky legislature is hoping to stop time changes in Kentucky. The bill would keep the Commonwealth on daylight saving time year-round, citing health benefits and a reduction in crime with added sunlight. And our number 1 story of 2019.
We was doing a grid search. We was doing a par status. Everybody was yelling across, and as they were yelling, I heard something distant, just a cry. And I just yelled for everybody to hush a minute, and he done it again, and I was like, I found him, and I took off running.
That is the Prestonsburg firefighter who found 22-month-old Kenneth Howard in the Magoffin County woods.
It's something that my whole team, all these guys, it's just, I don't know. You get teary-eyed sitting here talking about it.
The little boy went missing Mother's Day evening, kicking off a multiple-day search and rescue effort in the middle of the May heat. Kenneth was found alive and returned to his mother and father with just some scratches, tick bites, and suffering from dehydration. That is your 2019 WYMT.com Top 10 Stories. I'm Will Puckett.
Thanks, Will. And we want to thank you for watching us this year. You can find that full list over on WYMT.com. Coming up at 11, after a little more than a decade, the museum is closing its doors. We'll take you inside the museum with one last look at the artifacts inside. Then later, a wave of anti-Semitic attacks has people standing in solidarity against hate.
And soggy weather returns, but how much rain will fall? Well, I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.